You're listening to the inimitable, the one and only DBK and Insta Hack, and we have been talking about fake gurus. Just a quick sidestep. If you, I gotta mention the Eid festival. The Eid celebrations today. Sorry, I'm gonna say it a third time. The amazing event, the Eid event that was held today. Amazing turnout, amazing effort, and amazing results.
And amazing food as well. Lovely food today.
Yes, of
that
course.
Always gives a thumbs up there.
Yes, of course. Right, so you are listening to DBK and Insta Hack. Do check out our full archive on YouTube. The controversial things that we can't say on radio, we keep that for YouTube, and any links and references you can check out there. So today we are talking about fake gurus, and specifically Russell Brand, a piece from the Spectator, and George Monbiot, his mea culpa, his taking back. At one time, he felt that Russell Brand was a darling of the left, speaking up for people that were downtrodden, speaking against Islamophobia, and now he's done an about turn and is now a darling of the right. And George Monbiot feels embarrassed for having once backed him, and now, what can I say?
Yeah, you know, there's different types of fake gurus on the internet. You know, anyone who's been on there, you will see all these adverts. You know, I've made £1 million, I'll help you make £1 million. All you got to do is buy this product for £10.
Yeah.
And then what it is, it's like you say, it's like a pyramid scheme. If one person buys it for £10, you've got £10. If 1 million people buy it for £10, I've got £10 million.
Yeah.
It's that is the power of the internet.
Yeah.
Because your customer base, well, your viewer base is in the millions. Okay.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
go on.
So okay, let's go through a comprehensive list of things to look out for. Right. So these have been sent in by our regular listeners as examples. We asked the question, like, what are examples of where how can you tell fake from sincere, right? And I think there's certain things that you can tell. So we're going to go through a comprehensive list, a list of examples of, and in this case, today's case study is Russell Brand. And so one example that has been sent in of somebody, well, how can you spot a narcissist? How can you spot someone who's fake? And one example is everything's a performance, right? And so there's an example where Russell Brand is speaking to Mehdi Hassan, a very famous interview with a very famous interviewer, right? For those who don't know, Mehdi Hassan is a highly regarded journalist. I think he works for Al Jazeera now.
Yeah, he does.
So, bro, at the time, Russell Brand is being groomed, for want of a better word, by a social anthropologist. I forget his name. The listener at home that sent this link in has also forgotten their name, so we're lost. Basically, this thinker, he's kind of talking about history a little bit like Graham Hancock, right? He's got these this anthropologist is a writer. He's got opinions, and you hear Russell Brand saying these opinions again and again and again and again, right? So it's like, dude, you ain't talking. Your mate told you this line, and now you're going on different interviews. So here is what Russell Brand does. He goes on. His writer friend has groomed him. He's given him a new haircut, a new bunch of lines, a new little direction. He goes on to Mehdi Hassan's thingy interview, and he segues. Do you know when you're talking to someone and basically they're waiting to say their thing? It's like you're not having a conversation. It's somebody who's like, so how was your day? oh yeah, just it was a busy day, and well, go on, ask me how my day was. Why you're not gonna ask me?
They're waiting for that opening.
Let me run my thing. Let me say my thing, right? So like Russell, Hamidi Hassan's talking about something, and he Russell Brand segues into this soliloquy on, our perception is very narrow. We only see the narrowest range of visible light, where a bee can see ultraviolet and an ant can see an infrared, and you can only see this tiny slither of reality. An elephant can hear infrasonic, a bee can hear ultrasonic, and we can only perceive this narrow perception. Bro, the guy's got another interview the next week, and he's like, all right, okay, he's talking about politics now. And then he runs the same gambit. And he has another interview, and he talks about elephants hear infrasonic and bees can see in ultraviolet. It's like, dude, it's all a performance.
Yeah. It's what it is, basically. He's masking his ideas with scientific knowledge that is credible, and then he's overlapping it onto his own, his own opinions.
I'd be even more specific. He's learned a few new zingers. He's learned a few new one-liners, right? And it's like I say, if you interview someone like think of someone you respect, someone like I don't know. I don't want to mention who I respect, but let's just say
there's one person I respect. He made one mistake. George Galloway has always been truthful in his opinions. He's never changed his viewpoint on the world view. Yeah, he went on Big Brother, made a fool of himself, and he's always going to be punished for that by his own critics.
Cool, right, George Galloway. So if you ask him a bunch of questions, it's like he's going to talk about that. He ain't going to talk, I learned a few new lines.
Yeah.
And it's just a performance. So I guess what I'm trying to say is, it's like, it ain't that he's a great character. Oh, Russell Brand's this character. It's actually, according to some people, just a bunch of well-rehearsed lines.
Yeah. I think that's really the main point about these people. What differentiates them from someone like George Galloway or Tony Benn? These guys are the real deal. Mm-hmm. Tony Benn, one of my all-time heroes. He's solid, and he stayed true to himself, and he said it like it was, and he could back up any conversation. Like same with George Galloway. That one mistake, he kind of made a fool of himself on Big Brother, but that doesn't detract away from the 99% of his life where he stood his ground and he's fought all the kind of corruption that he's seen in the world, and he's called out oppression where he's seen it, and he's become a really great figurehead for people who look for courage to fight and stand up for their views. And people like George Galloway, they have shown the way. They put themselves on the line. So he's out in the cold politically, but he's won so much respect. And he has so much public support. But that's the difference in him and say someone like Russell Brand, these other characters, fake gurus, that it's a performance. They've practiced it. They kind of accumulate all this knowledge and information, and they turn it and twist it into a performance that fools the average person. You start quoting scientific terms, you start including a bit of a cosmology or whatever. Oh, this guy's intelligent, he knows what he's talking about. But physics teachers are intelligent. Doesn't mean that they know what's going on in the world.
I think if I was going to I kind of just a minute ago mentioned like a example, which is that you can tell someone who's fake. According to this BBC series it's a special on fake gurus that I'll pull up. I keep forgetting the name of it, but this opinion was sent in by one of our listeners that you can tell someone who's fake by that kind of thing. It's like they want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about not the issue. They've got nothing to say. they've just got a bunch of one-liners. But another example is the way opportunism, right? So, for example, if you're talking to someone who's authentic, who's earnest, okay, right, there is a crisis going on or something like that. Okay, an authentic person will try and give an authentic answer.
Yeah.
Whereas I think someone who's coming at it, sorry, not me, this listener who I can't mention, wanted to stay anonymous. It's so. Here is what Russell Brand does. All right. AI is in the news right now.
Yeah.
Right. You need to be careful of AI. They are coming for you. And then the next story, energy crisis. Right. Energy crisis is here. Corporate greed is bringing us down. The people are being oppressed. We need to understand that there is a common light of consciousness amongst all of us. They use when they are trying to break down gurus and how they talk, they use a lot of gobbledygook.
Yeah.
And they use these like, bro, you're talking about different topics and saying the same thing. Oh, vegetables have gone expensive. We have to understand that we are atomized creatures and we are being separated. There is love and divinity in every one of us. We need to be united so that we can... What are you talking about? Bro, I did this. There's someone that I know that does a game. And it's like, have I got news for you? Okay. Whatever is in the news... Stick Russell Brand on, okay?
Yeah.
Whatever. Name a topic, bro. Name a topic. I'll do it off the top of my head. A news topic.
Oh, a news topic. Say BLM or something like that.
BLM. Black Lives Matter.
Yeah.
What we have to understand that we are all one. We are being divided by the powers that be. There is the light of divinity that runs between you and me and all nations. We need to come together. Subscribe to my channel. Next. Name a next example.
Oh, so next example. I was going to say that certain oppression in the Middle East, but I'll leave that one.
Well dodged.
So well dodged there. So yeah, BLM recently. The other thing is the transgender movement.
Transgender is in the news. You have to understand that these are arbitrary boundaries that are being drawn up by the powers that be. We have to come together and understand that we are one. The love and light of divinity runs through every single one of us. Join and subscribe to the revolution. Russell Brand, subscribe below.
Yeah.
Okay, right, you. Next.
I think the audience have got the idea.
Give me one more zinger. Give me one more.
So, you mentioned energy prices. That's the topic.
Energy has increased in cost, and this is another example of corporate greed. The powers that be are sucking the normal people dry, and we have to realize that we have to rise up against corporate interests and stop being divided. We have to come together. Subscribe to my channel. Right. So that they are that's what I am paraphrasing. I'm joking, but this is what a friend of mine was kind of giving an example of fakery.
Yeah, the fake guru industry is massive, and apart from the celebrity type fake gurus, you have the get rich quick type fake gurus. I think they number far more than the Andrew Tates and the Russell Brands of this world, but I think it's good to mention them, because the audience is listening, and sometimes you do get sucked in. You have people who have online websites who publicize these sites. I've made millions of pounds doing this, blah blah blah. I can help you make millions. All you have to do is subscribe or pay by this, etc., or do this, and that's it. You will reap the rewards, and you'll be just like me. And when people sell pyramid schemes, there's an interesting story where a friend of mine told me a story where he saw this advert for the job as a salesman, and he was invited to the gentleman's house, and he lived in a big house. And by the end of the conversation, he realized it was a pyramid scheme. He wanted him to run about for free. Get as many people as you can to buy the product or whatever, and come back to him. So you're running around for someone, and you're doing all the hard work, and he's showing you the wealth, the house, etc. You can have this if you do this. It's similar on social media, internet. It's a similar thing. They have this kind of image of wealth, status, the position that they've reached, and you can reach it as well.
Yeah.
A good con man does not turn up in a Nissan Micro.
Yeah.
You know,
I think you're hitting on a really, really profound point, which is, at the moment, really quick, I just want to say this is one of the reasons why these things have to be talked about, because when you have there's something called MLM, multi-level marketing, okay? Yeah. I'm not going to mention any brands, okay? It's actually a highly regulated thing.
Only Russell brand.
It's a highly regulated arena because it is prone to predatory activities, okay? Right. And basically, it's a glorified pyramid scheme according to some people that are in the know, okay? So what is a pyramid scheme? It's basically exactly what you were saying. You put the money in, and it's a Ponzi scheme. The money goes to gets filtered up, but most people end up disenfranchised, okay? Yeah. MLMs and pyramid schemes target ethnic minorities because they are financially under duress. They are a demographic that on average are more susceptible to manipulation. You've just come from, you're a migrant population, you're desperate, you need to send money back home, your family is fleeing from warfare. Well, you know what, we can help you, right? And this is an aspect or a dimension of the fake guru. It's part of the same milieu, it's part of the same ecosystem. It's bleeding people dry, according to a lot of economists. And I think that's the reason why these things have to be talked about, because if we don't, it gets swept under the carpet.
Yeah, and if we don't, so many people are actually conned into separating their money.
Yeah.
Believing that they're doing it for a good reason, to help themselves.
We got to help out.
And to help others. There's so many con men and women on the internet, and they use so many tactics. And these tactics work because they don't come across as con men otherwise.
But I do want to say, like, this is the point that you're really hitting on, that's actually very profound. Again, it's in the BBC documentary that called Fake Gurus, that you have to remember that all the people that are saying you got to escape the matrix, I'll show you the way, follow my system, subscribe, give me monthly subscription, right? Yeah. Everyone's saying that are on platforms that are multi-billion-dollar platforms, okay? They are basically, and this is what I think you'll appreciate a lot, is you have to understand in the farming or the agrarian era, if you're talking about feudalism and that kind of thing, you farmed land to make money, okay? In today's digital era, you farm data to make money, okay? Wow. And that's the paradigm shift, right? Yeah. So basically, our attention is commodified, okay? And what happens is you have people, certain fake gurus saying that we have to fight against capitalism and corporate greed while being on large corporation platforms that have a lot of corporate greed. It don't make no sense, right? Okay, secondly is the fact that it's kind of like a pyramid, that at the top you have the landowners, the people that have the platform. I'm not going to mention them, multi-billion-dollar platforms, okay? And then you have underneath that, you have the lords. They'll have the space, right? And they kind of like and underneath them is the peasants, okay? When you have that system, I don't need to spell it out, but you have the platform, then you have the pundit, the guru, and underneath that you have the mugs. You have me and you that pay, we give our attention, we pay our subscriptions, that kind of thing. Yeah,
but saying that, I mean, we're from the Pakistani community, so getting a penny out of us is going to be hard work.
Yeah.
So we're lucky in that respect. Our culture has saved us from getting conned.
Yeah, for sure.
But a little joke there.
Yes, we're allowed to joke here and there, I think. Right, so I'm just gonna recap this really quick and just emphasize the fact that when we're talking about fake gurus, you got to understand that if they were what would a sincere guru look like? I can paint a picture. I'll tell you, my hero. I'm not going to say bad things about anyone because we don't have a big enough legal team. But I'll tell you good things about good people. If there's only one person you remember from this show, Potholer54. Started a YouTube channel. He's consistent over 10, 15 years. What he says is consistent, right? But he's not monetized his channel. All his money goes to a charity that he helped to set up. I think it's for poor people to get free medical care, that kind of thing. So I can't tell you what a fake guru looks like, but I'll tell you what one doesn't look like, and that's a good sign. If they use all their millions that, for example, George Monbiot highlights, Russell Brand is making millions. Where's that millions going? They say follow the money. Well, where's that money going? You know, that's something that George Monbiot highlights. You're listening to DBK and Inside Hack. We're going to be back very soon.
You're listening to Heritage Radio.
You are indeed, and you are listening right now to DBK and Inside Hack. What an epic Eid event we had today.
I know.
It was something special for sure.
I saw some photos of the event, and there was some horse riding going on.
Wow.
I know, kids. You know, it's an amazing thing when you know, show kids, especially born in the cities, what's it like outside in the countryside. A little taste of the open, which has a big effect on their, you know, future lives.
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Right, so let's carry on with the show, or even wrap up the show. Do you know what? I can't do it without doing this. Yes, DBK Inside Hack, and we are talking today about fake gurus and people that lead you astray. They lead you away from the promised land, the righteous path. They take you away from facts and towards fiction. And we're dissecting a piece in the Spectator. And we won't go over every detail right now, because I think we've moved on quite a lot. And I think the important thing is there's a great series on BBC Radio 4. They ain't even paying us to plug them, bro, but we're plugging them. Great series on Radio 4 called Fake Gurus. I'm going to quickly find the name of the journalist who did it. She's a writer for The Atlantic, and she actually interviewed Jordan Peterson a long time ago.
Did she?
Yeah, it's one of the famous ones. I think it was for GQ or something like that.
Yeah, I did watch that interview. You know, she was painted as a villain in that one.
Well, any female that interviews Jordan Peterson is painted in that way. So, I mean, it was actually a good interview, to be honest, to be fair, but she's able to take a step back and research the whole topic of fake gurus. And me and Inside Hack, my intrepid what would you say?
Fellow adventurer.
Adventurer, that is the word, right? We've been dissecting the phenomena of fake gurus, some in specifically Russell Brand.
I think the issue of what motivates them, apart from money, I know obviously money is a big factor, but I think there's a more to it than that, and the future shows we'll have a look at, we'll have an in-depth look at that. There's a few things that I think psychologists would say. For example, narcissistic personality disorder. So this desire, Spectator was kind of tongue-in-cheek suggesting that Russell Brand gave up his desire for illicit substances and instead it kind of substituted that addiction for the addiction of fame. And I think go on. I was going to say, you hit a point there. Fame, a normal narcissist affects the people around them in the everyday lives. We're talking about someone who wants to affect the world and millions of people in it. That's jumping up a higher level. And you need to be a certain type of person to carry that off. You have to be an extrovert, and you have to have some kind of messianic complex on some level to do that.
That's it. His tour was called the Messiah Complex.
Yeah, the Messiah Complex.
Right. Okay. So I mean, right. There's you could say narcissistic personality disorder. That's an aspect. So what does that mean? It's a psychological condition where you basically, we're not going to go into it, but you crave attention and you do things. You do whatever you got to do to get attention.
More than a craving it, you want to affect people's lives.
Control
people. people.
Yeah. And so, for example, there's some images of the way that behind the scenes versus in front of, the persona of some of these people. Is it the same? And the answer is, yeah, I'm going to leave that to your imagination. Right. But, I think wrapping up, this is something we're going to come back to again and again.
Definitely.
There's so much to explore. But I think the important thing is just that I think what helps, a really good guide, is to look at the real deal. What's that joke that Chris Rock makes? He ain't talking about Vanilla Ice. He's talking about DMX. Like, who's the real deal, right? Yeah. And what does that look like? And I think when you look at, say, for example, the certain characters, Potholer54 is my favorite YouTuber.
We'll have to have a look at this guy.
He's sensational, right? And people like that will give their money to charity. Eddie from Pakistan, the guy who ran the largest charitable social service in the world, ambulance service, everything.
I know.
Look at him, look at his attributes. Everything that he got, he basically funneled it to a genuine revolution.
Yeah.
Right. So people talking about revolution left, right, and center. Well, did you put your money where your mouth is?
I know.
I'll tell you something personal. There's someone that I know that actually went. Russell Brand has supposedly did a lot for people that were suffering from drug addiction because it's close to his heart.
Yeah.
Someone that is very close to me actually went there. It's called the Trues Cafe. And Russell Brand talks about it a lot. As being an example of his philanthropic endeavors.
Yeah.
So he gets there, my friend gets there and looks at this philanthropic endeavor.
Yeah.
Does it match Eddie in Pakistan? And it's amazing because Eddie never was a great stand-up comedian or Hollywood superstar.
Yeah.
Does it match other great philanthropists? And his answer was no.
Yeah.
It's a small dinky cafe, right? Ain't nothing going on. It was empty. There were two lethargic people in there serving coffees, weren't having coffees, right? This thing that Russell Brand was talking about as being his tour de force, as you would say, was actually not up to much.
Yeah.
It
shows that the power of the internet, social media, that you can represent anything, in any shape or form, or color or whatever. You can create empires online, and then you go down to the house, it's somebody's back room.
Yeah.
This is you're touching on a bigger, wider world here. The cyber world, the world of the internet.
Well, I mean, I think specifically about fakery.
Yeah, but fakery is, bro. It's a part of social media. It's a part of that world because you are creating. You can go in so many different places with this. Virtual reality. Political manipulation, economic manipulation.
Yeah. Well, you know what? If our production team are listening, that's exactly why we like talking about it. This is the topic of our time.
Yeah.
I think our mission, if there's anything, just closing sentiment, is DBK and Inside Hack. We're here to try and help navigate these choppy waters. We are your GPS service that will help you to navigate the murky waters of disinformation and fake gurus and all that sort of jazz. That's it. This is being the show. DBK Inside Hack. We're going to sign out right now. Any last sentence you want to say? Literally 10 seconds.
Thank you for having me. And you listen to guys. We'll be here every week, every Monday night.
Yes, sir.
And we're going to talk about all the topics that people want to hear.
Right. Back soon. See you later.